Hi, this is a video regarding the treatment I received, very bad experience and the bad treatment I received at Oyster and Pearl Hospital in Pune. So I visited the hospital yesterday for a wrist ligament tear operation, and it was done through arthroscopy. So while the doctor was awesome because he was one of the best wrist surgeons available in Pune, and Oyster and Pearl is used by these doctors to do treatment, but Oyster and Pearl doesn't have its own OPD center. So my doctor did an OPD for me at other hospital, and surgery was done at Oyster and Pearl's. So I had a really bad experience regarding the post-operation administrative process, and in this video I'm going to talk about what happened with me, and probably this will help you to decide whether you should get a treatment at Oyster and Pearl or not. So in my case, my insurance company didn't have a tie-up with Oyster and Pearl because it's one of the least known hospitals in Pune. The only reason my surgeon advised me to have a surgery here was that they had some arthroscopic equipment which was working properly and which wasn't working properly at some other good hospital. So the first thing what happened after the surgery was there was a lack of coordination between the departments. I went to the daycare department and I asked them to give me the discharge certificate, but they said it's not their responsibility and I should talk to the billing department. So I sent one of my relatives who had come with me to the billing department, and the billing department refused to give discharge certificate too, and they gave the reason was that the discharge certificate is issued by the casualty department. So I went to the my friend visited to the casualty department, and finally he got a discharge certificate which was having incorrect information. I had a surgery for ligament tear, and it was already known to everyone because the MRI said it was a ligament tear, my surgeon said it was a ligament tear, but the discharge certificate that was made didn't had any mention of the ligament tear at all. In fact, all mentioned there was removal of a ganglion cyst. I'm sorry. And the ganglion cyst happened because of the ligament tear. So the primary reason for surgery was not to remove the ganglion, but the ligament tear which was causing the pain. And I was really surprised because the only reason I had a surgery was because of a ligament tear. So I went back to the then my relative took the discharge certificate and went to the insurance department to have a stamp on a document provided by my insurance company. They needed that document to be filled by the hospital with details like what is the hospital PAN number, TAN number, and many other administrative details which I will not like to go to detail into. And then they asked my relative to sit out, and then they said they'll fill it themselves. I said okay, that's absolutely fine. And they filled the form incorrectly. They showed that my ligament tear was not an injury but a prolonged illness, but whereas my doctor had clearly written that it was because of an injury. And the reason that they gave was they didn't get to read those documents of the doctor's consultation. And when I tried to tell them that you could have asked me for the appropriate documents, they were not ready to listen to me. So next thing I did was I took all of the documents and I went to the billing department to say, okay, hey, finally, okay, whatever is done, I'll see you tomorrow. All I need to do right now is I need to pay the fees and I need to get discharged to home. So then the billing lady was not ready to put a revenue stamp on my bills, and she said the only reason for this is that the government has instructed her not to put revenue stamps on any bill which is paid by debit card and which is more than 5,000. And I can guarantee you that there is no such thing advised by government. In fact, government doesn't bother about these bullshit things at all. I mean, all the revenue stamp is needed by the insurance company. I called up my insurance company and I asked the insurance company agent to talk to the billing department lady, and she was not ready to listen to him either. And she didn't give me a revenue stamp, which means even if I have the bills, I cannot claim for them. And my surgery, which costed me some 70,000 rupees, was not going to be, I could not claim for it. So Then I decided, okay, I'll go back home and I'll come to hospital again. So this morning I went to hospital again, and this time I brought revenue stamps with me. And I requested them that please put a revenue. I have already put the revenue stamp. All you need to do is sign there and put your hospital stamp on it. And after convincing them for a few minutes, they were finally ready, considering that they were doing some kind of a that as if I'm the most miserable person on earth, and I went there and they are instead of charging me fees, they are still as if they are helping me, doing some favor to me. Then I went to the casualty department and I said, hey, look, talk to the doctor and write the appropriate discharge statement. It's not a ganglion cyst excision. It's a ligament tear surgery. So please write appropriately. And then finally they accepted their mistake and they gave me a new discharge statement. And I was really surprised why such things are to be done twice. Why couldn't you do it in the first go? Why couldn't you talk to the doctor? I mean, there is no coordination at all between the doctors and the administrative staff. Come on, this is not supposed to be like this. Then I took that discharge summary and went back to the insurance team, who yesterday had filled the form incorrectly and showed that it wasn't an injury. And I told them, can you please refill a new form? And then they said, no, they will only make changes in the existing form and put stamps there. But I said, you have already committed 5 to 6 mistakes in the existing form. Will you put 5 to 6 stamps? That's like I'm going to the insurance company and the insurance company might think, oh, as if I have completely changed the form myself, and finally there's a deal that took place between me and the hospital to show that this is a fake injury, this is a fake claim. So I requested them to refill the form, and again they did mistake. They showed that I had taken alcohol and abusive substance, and because of that the injury happened. And I was really shocked. Come on, the doctor says that this has become of a slip and fall. I'm saying that this has become this injury I got was from a slip and fall, and you are showing me that I have taken substance. It's not written anywhere. How come you daydream like that? And on top of that, they were not ready to correct it. And when they corrected it, they put a stamp there, and then there were other mistakes that they did. For example, my surgery was a planned one. I knew it a week before, and they had indicated that the surgery was done in an emergency condition. And I'm like, hey, come on, you have filled the details wrong again. And I can show you the form right now. There are 15 places where they have committed the mistake. So I've marked all those 15 places in pencil, and you can see those round circles with tick boxes. And this is the form filled by them, and it has 15 mistakes. You can count there. It has 15 mistakes. And this is the second time they have filled the form. And eventually I had to call their medical administrator, and she was not available. And I said, okay, I need to talk to them, otherwise I'll take some measure. Like, for example, I'm now making this video just because I want to share with everyone that this is how this hospital works. You should decide on your own, make your decision whether you want to get treated here or not. And eventually there was one more mistake that they had committed. I had a CD of my surgery, and that CD was not working. I'm a computer engineer, and I know if a CD doesn't work, why it doesn't work. And I tried telling them that the CD does not have the video at all. I mean, my surgery video was an hour long, and the CD that they gave me was not working because it didn't have the video at all in it. And you can see the slight layer, the inner circle, that's so small that you can easily understand that any video takes enough space to fill the whole CD. And this CD does not have any video, so I cannot see how my surgery was done. There is no proof at all if the surgery was done. So I called them up again, and then they said it's not their fault, maybe I should download the right codec. And I'm like, oh, you're telling me? Like, I know how these things work, come on. And despite that, I still downloaded it just for the sake of checking it out, and I found that it again didn't work because of the same reason. If there's no video, how can you play it? So I called the hospital again, and I said, can you please give me a new CD? And then they said, can you please again come tomorrow? And I'm like, this is the third time I'm visiting the hospital. Why couldn't these things be done properly in the very first place? Then again, the other problem I faced was the daycare department. There was a lady sitting there, her name was Easter, and since my discharge process was getting longer and longer because of the lack of coordination between different departments, the lady there was not helping us out. My mom went to the lady and asked her if my discharge process is over. And my mom was really nervous. Come on, her son just had a surgery. She's supposed to be nervous. And the lady started shouting at my mom and telling her that she should keep her mouth shut and be less nervous. And I'm like, you have come to a hospital. I have come to a hospital, and you are the nurse there. You are trained to talk to people, sympathize with them, and not shout at them. You should be trained. And what kind of a hospital is this? You are shouting at my mom just because she asked you if the discharge certificate is made or not. And finally she called me up and said, hey, look, your mom is too nervous. Go and tell her to shut her mouth. And I saw the situation, and although I wanted to shout at her, I was not in that kind of a state. My hand was already under anesthesia, and I was more bothered about getting out of that place and less bothered about fighting with them on that day. So I said, okay, fine, like I don't know what's happening here, just give me the discharge certificate, give me the discharge, and I'll get out of this shitty place. So I request you to watch this video and decide yourself if you would like to get treated at Oyster and Pearl Hospital, Shivaji Nagar, Pune. Its complete address is Oyster and Pearl Hospital, behind Rahul Cinema, behind Pride Hotel, Shivaji Nagar, Pune. And in my opinion, you should not go there. It's one of the worst hospitals in Pune. I have been to 5 to 6 hospitals in Pune for various problems over the last 5 to 10 years, and I had never faced something like this. This is a private hospital, and it's pathetic. Very pathetic place to be at. Now let's see, I have to visit the medical administrator tomorrow and hope she helps me out, or maybe then people like you will teach them a lesson. Thank you very much.